All right, we're going to try something different today. We're going to do just the fuzzy thing. Taking the screen off, we're going to try fuzzy thing today. See if that makes a difference. I know that last week we did the screen, not the fuzzy. And while I was editing, I found that there were I think 2 or 3 points where I puh, and it like exploded. It sounded really bad. And a couple of you mentioned that as well. So we're gonna try the fuzzy thing today, and hopefully, it's taken us 25 episodes to get situated. We're figuring out the sound finally, and then I have my I don't know if you can hear my squeaky chair. It's just always gonna be problems on the Cahn Solo Pod show. Today we're going to talk about running. I don't think I've ever really, aside from the marathon segment, I don't think I've ever really talked about my running journey on here. I kind of like stopped talking about that everywhere. Like I used to, my handle on Instagram is Sam Cahn Runs. Formerly Runner Sam, the Runner Sam, but I don't really talk about that anymore. Every now and then I'll get people that ask, if I'm still doing that. My close friends and family, they know I'm still doing it. But if you don't know about what my running journey is, buckle up. We're going to talk about that today. And if you do know and you haven't had an update in a while, you're prepared to be updated. We're going to talk about, we're just going to kind of talk about everything. Like what happened, why I did it, what happened during, why I'm still doing it, the hiccups along the way. And hopefully you have a giggle or two. And maybe it inspires you in some way. So we'll see what happens. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. We love you so. Your human buddy Sam and his teddy friend. This is hello. The song's almost over. It's about to end. Let's start the show. Cahn Solo Podcast. So we're going to go back to high school real quick. This was in 2000. 2000. I started my freshman year. And when I was getting ready to pick my schedule, we had the choice of you could do a sport or you could go into the general PE class or whatever. I was in an accelerated program for the smart kids called Quest. Questioning, understanding everything, study time. I don't remember what it was, but I was in Quest, and part of that was like we had a different schedule than all the general kids. So yeah. Anyway, because of that, I could have gone into a sport or gone into general PE, and my mom was like, you should do a sport, because if you go into the general PE, it probably won't. Basically, she was suggesting that I would be bullied, and she was right. So I joined cross country because I couldn't do anything else. Baseball, basketball, cross country is just running, and I was gangly and I could run. So I ran. I did that. I did it for 2 years, and ironically, I got bullied a lot on the team. So that's why I quit my junior year, because I was tired of the constant hazing that I endured from the varsity guys, and I stopped running after that. There was no reason for me to. I didn't really enjoy it that much, and I was like, whatever, I'm done running. So graduated 2004, and I picked up a cigarette smoking habit for 4 years that I quit in early 2008. Late in 2008, my parents walked they did a 5K at Universal Studios. It went through the where the tram tour is. They got home and they were, telling me about it. They showed me pictures like, yeah, you would have loved it. We got to walk up to the Bates Motel, and we got to see Jaws and da da da. And I was like, oh my God, why didn't you fucking invite me? So next year, and next year indeed, I joined them and I ran, and I trained probably like a month before. I just kind of figured like, oh yeah, you can do it. Just put on shoes and you're fine. So they walked it and I ran ahead. I think I almost placed in my age group. I was so proud of myself for doing that, and I was like, I want to do this again. I want to do this next year. I started running like maybe 2-3 times a week. I got back. Sam got his groove back, and I guess my lungs healed because I was doing okay. So the following year we do the 2010 one, and now I'm hooked. I am a runner, and I'm taking this shit seriously. And I'm running 4 or 5 times a week. I'm getting really, really fast, and I'm really competitive with myself. And we decide, hey, we're gonna make this like the annual Cahn thing. We're gonna do this every year, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. 2 months before my dad died, we went to dinner. He and my mom and I was bragging to my dad about how fast I went that day. I was, I ran 4 miles in 26 minutes or whatever. And he was like, wow, that's awesome. He told me about his running streak that he had. He had this running streak where he ran every single day from like the late 70s to the early 80s, and just no days off. Every single day, rain or shine, he went out and ran. I was like, wow, that's insane, but also kind of cool. Definitely not for me, as I need my rest days and I don't want my knees to blow out by the time I'm 30. But good for you, Stu. So he passed away 2 months later, and I guess like my family was coping with his grief by like diving into cleaning the garage out as like this big project. Yeah, the garage, since my parents moved in 1987, like no, we didn't touch any of the boxes or bins. So everything just was preserved, and we didn't even know what was in those boxes until he died. And we were going through all the things. There were just like, magazines and newspapers and just crap, and we kept finding his running like log slips. It was December 5th, 1980, ran 3 miles, and what he weighed and what he ate and what he saw on the run. Oh, I saw a pretty girl, like just shit like that. And we just kept finding them, and they were all loose and all over the place. That was, then it was like, oh, this is fucking really cool. Yeah, we would, day 500, day 600, day 1,000. I think that the farthest one we found was like 1,650 something. As my mom confirmed, he stopped because his knees were giving him problems, and life just happened. That can be a time consuming thing. At this point, I started running 5Ks, God, like 2 or 3 times a month, half marathons, just trying to outdo myself. And it was hard because Dad is dead. So I was still like grieving. A year later, I decided I'm going to try to do this streak thing, and I'm going to try to beat his goal, which we found on a resume actually in the garage. His goal it had like, his accomplishments or whatever with his like work history, and he's like, I've been running every single day since 1980. My goal is to run over 2,131 days in a row. We didn't know what that meant at first, but I found out it was Lou Gehrig's streak, Lou Gehrig is a baseball player in like the 30s who he played 2,131 consecutive games without missing a game. So for whatever reason, my dad was like, I'm going to translate that to running every single day. So he didn't quite get there. And I thought, okay, I can do that. I'll do that, like, you know, in his honor. So May 13th, 2012, I started doing that. And before you have any questions, it's at least 1 mile every single day, continuous. So, you know, if you can't run like half a mile and, you know, go to McDonald's and eat your burger and come back. It's got to be continuous, but it's got to be safe continuous and common sense continuous. So if you're running and you hit a red light and you have to cross the street, obviously wait for it. You don't have to like stop at the red light and be like, oh shit, it's over, I gotta run another mile or whatever. So there's actually a website. It's called Run Every Day, and there's a fucking list. There's other people like us, some that have been running since like the 70s, just every single day, which is crazy. So yeah, I decided I was gonna start doing that, and I did. I was running every single day, and my rest days were a 1 mile run. I was doing it so much that I like. Here's the thing, like I don't want to sound like a fucking douchebag, like, oh, it's only 1 mile, but when you're running that much, 1 mile it's easy. It's pretty easy to do. So I would liken it to like brushing my teeth at this point. It was just routine. I would I would run 5 miles a day, 6 times a week, and then, you know, my rest day would be the 1 mile. So as long as I did 1 mile, I was fine. And as long as I did it before the day was over. So there were times when I cut it way too fucking close for no reason, and I would lace up at like 11:50 at night. There were a couple of times where I did it in like jeans. Like, you know, I'd be at a party or something, and, oh, Sam, how's your streak? I'm like, oh, fuck, I did not run today. And I would go run around the neighborhood or whatever. Yeah, so I was doing that, having a good time. And then May 6th, 2016, May 7th, 2016, I drove up to Barstow for my buddy Bryant's bachelor party. Bryant, if you're listening, please don't feel bad. I know you always say you're sorry this happened, but this was me. This was my fault. Get to Barstow. If you've never been out there, it's beautiful. It's in California. It's basically like the middle of nowhere, desert. No reception. It's a camping ground. It's just rocks and canyons and nature, and it's just gorgeous. I drive out there, and all the guys were already out there like a day before. I was working, so I went on I think Friday after work. Get out there, and I couldn't find them, so my Jeep got stuck in the sand, and I was trying to call them and text them for, I think I was out there for like an hour, and I was freaking out because it was, you know, it wasn't getting dark, but it was getting dusky, and I was like, oh no. Anyway, I got a hold of them finally, and my buddy John kind of like pushed me out, and we went back to the campsite, and we were, you know, drinking and having a jolly time. Good day one. So day two, wake up, you know, same thing, debauchery, having a good time. There was a guy there who I didn't even see him the entire time. They said he got like alcohol poisoning. He was probably just having a really good time. He was sitting in the back of one of the trucks, and he just dry heaving the entire time. He was just laid up in the bed of this truck. He was just throwing up like nonstop. It was actually very concerning. for me because I was like, this isn't cool. This isn't normal, right? And they're like, nah, he's fine, whatever. And they'd bring him water and stuff. But yeah, it was not a good time for him. So yeah, that Saturday we're drinking. We ate before it got dark. I was like, I'm gonna go do my mile run. The guys were gonna go hike up this peak. Bryant was like, oh, you wanna go with us real quick? It's gonna be like 20 minutes. It should be really fast, and you'll have time to run when you get back. And I remember I was like, oh, it's just about to take off. And again, Bryant, please don't feel bad. I was just about to take off. Like I remember like looking down the stretch, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go down there and come back. And I was like, don't. You can do this after. Like, go hike with your friends and have fun. So I went on the hike. So I think there were like 6 of us that went, and the other 6 or so stayed back at the camp. We go up hiking up this canyon. I'm the only sober one. Everyone else plastered, been drinking all day long. Go up the canyon, and I'm kind of worried about them because I'm having a hard time navigating the like loose gravel and the sharp rocks and everything. And I'm like, someone's going to get hurt. We better make this quick. And it wasn't quick. We ended up going out like 25 minutes, and it means you got to go 25 minutes back. So it wasn't getting dark, but it could get dark quickly out there because you're in the desert. So got a little worried, and we're like, well, let's find a shortcut. And a shortcut we found. We figured we could see our campsite from where we were, and we're like, all right, if we cut down this like embankment, it'll take 5 minutes to get back to where we are versus like 20 minutes going all the way around. Plus there's a fucking bear cave down there. Let's go see the bear cave. Oh shit. And they went down. They were like surfing down the loose gravel and just holding their beers, and they were totally fine. I had to pee. So I stayed behind. It was a weird moment for me because I felt so like connected to nature and good. Like I remember that feeling while I was peeing over the edge. It was weird. Like I just had this like peaceful feeling. And yeah. I zipped up and turned around and saw the guys down at the bear cave. I don't know if it was a bear cave. I think it was just a little small cave that they assumed a bear would be living in. Yeah, I started going down. I think I was thinking too much because I was trying to like, it was like a horse like going down some stairs, and I was like, oh, like instead of just sprinting down like they did and not thinking, I was like, oh, okay, look out for that rock over there. Oh, I kind of lost my footing. I started to kind of like run down, and I saw this like flat, so it was like the rocks going, and then there was like a little a flat surface, and then there were more rocks, and I was like, oh shit, I'm losing my footing. I'm gonna stop on that rock, on that flat surface. I was going down, and I kind of like jumped onto it, but since I was I was basically sprinting down the rocks, physics, I couldn't just stop, so I jumped on this thing, and I felt this pop in my left ankle, and my ankle like rolled in. I immediately sat down and like grabbed my ankle and was like, manipulating it, and I was like, okay, no, it's not broken, it's fine. It's like, you just like that, it just popped, like you're good. I was holding it, and then it was like kind of limp. They were like, looking up at me because I was sitting up there for a good minute, and they're like, you all right? And I was like, I remember I said, I'm done. I'm done. What happened? I'm like, no. Like, probably cussing and stuff. I think it was Evan, my buddy Evan, started to come back up, and he was actually in med school at the time. He's a full-on doctor now. He was like, "Oh, can you move it? Like, can you get back to the camp?" And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, it's bad. Like, it's really bothering me. And I looked down, and it was already kind of like getting puffy. I think one of the other guys came up, and they kind of like helped me down, and my arms around them. I'm limp. I can't like put any weight on it because it was fucking killing me. And I remember Evan was telling me, he was trying to motivate me, but it wasn't working. He was like, "Yeah, if Kobe Bryant can make 2 free throws with a torn Achilles, like, you got this." So I was like, "Hey man, not fucking right now, okay? Not now." They helped me up. I think a couple of them, ran ahead and got the truck to pick me up and drive me over to the camp, so I didn't have to walk, that far. I get back, and as we're pulling up, everyone's clapping and stuff. They're drunk. They don't know that it's bad. They thought I just kind of got a little ouchie. They sit me on the bench, and God, man, I fucking was bad. It looked like a soft, but it was swelling up really fast at this point, and it looked like there was a softball like underneath my skin. And when I saw that, I almost threw up, and I was like, I can't do this right now. And like, I could feel myself getting all pale, and I was like, that's it. 4 years gone. No more running. I broke my fucking ankle. We're in the middle of nowhere. By the time that like we got back, it was dark. It was like the sun was leaving, and there was no reception, and the nearest hospital was like a half-hour drive. They were all drunk too. So, it wasn't like there was bone sticking out, so it wasn't like we needed and I wasn't bleeding, so we didn't need to call an ambulance. And it was like, all right, well, Evan says it's probably just sprained, so we'll treat it as such. They made me a hammock to elevate my leg, and I just laid on my back, and I had my leg sticking straight up, and I was thinking, I refused to believe this was happening, and I was like, I think I can just rest this, and I can go run my mile. And they're like, "No, I don't think you are." I was like, no, I like before midnight, I should be fine. Like, it'll be fine. And I was getting upset. They were doing their best to cheer me up and make me laugh and stuff, but I spent the night just in the hammock. They were drunk and smacking each other with the dildo that one of them brought, and playing music, and they were having fun. Like, I wasn't trying to be like, "Go, stop having fun, I'm hurt." It was like, well, this is the situation that I'm in, so fuck. They would come over and check on me every like 10 minutes. Like, they would kneel down next to me and be like, "Oh, Sam, that sucks." It's like, yeah, it did. Other words of encouragement. The only place where they could do the hammock with like the pillar, it was right next to the fucking fire pit. So the entire night, smoke was just blowing in my face, and they were trying to like get a sheet in front of me, but the wind was blowing the sheet, and I was inhaling a lot of smoke that evening. And at one point, they called our friend Aaron, he was on the East Coast. This was like at 2 a.m, so it was like 4 a.m where he was, and he was getting his PhD in art history, which they made fun of a lot. Still do, I think. They call him Dr. Aaron, which he is. He's got a PhD. He's a doctor. You can call him that, but they thought it was really funny because it was such a specific, PhD to have. Like, you can't really, there's only so many things you could do with the PhD in art history. Like, you kind of have to go the art history route. So anyway, they decided to call him, and they put him on speakerphone, and they're like, "Hey, Dr. Aaron, oh, what's up? Oh, we need your help, Sam. Think Sam might have like broke his leg or sprained it." And Aaron's like, are you all right, Sam? And they're like, fucking Aaron, and I'm like, hey, yeah, hey, man, yeah, I'm okay. I think it just sucks. And, I could tell he sounded worried, but he was also like, it is 4 a.m. I need to get back to sleep. Good luck, Sam. And that's basically what he said. He was like, man, I hope you're okay. Have fun. So, yeah, I didn't sleep that whole night. I kind of nodded off. I was in a lot of pain. So that's why I didn't really sleep. The guys eventually found sleep. They just kind of passed out. But I kept hearing like critters, like little mice and shit, just kind of scurrying about. And I couldn't sleep. So at 5 a.m, I gotta go. I decided I didn't want to wait for them to wake up because they're going to be hungover first. And then also it's going to suck the fun out of their last day. And I think they were going home that day later in the afternoon. So it was like, all right, so you're going to drive me to the urgent care or ER and wait for God knows how long. And, so I decided to take myself, and I crawled out of the hammock, and I crawled to my Jeep. It was, oh God, it was probably like 50 feet, and my ankle was not looking good. I couldn't put any weight on it, so I was crawling on my stomach, and got to my Jeep, rolled down the window, stuck my leg kind of out the window, and I drove to the hospital closer to my house, which was like over an hour away. They did an x-ray, and they're like, it's a really bad sprain. It's not broken. Here's some crutches. Here's a splint. Good luck. Yeah, that was the streak. It was over. 1,450 some days in a row was just over. I was short about 200 days of my dad's record that he actually accomplished, which was like 1,600 something. But the 2,100 days that I had a ways to go, so I didn't quite get there. But then the following day, I was navigating my new crutches, and I fell down some stairs, and I landed like on my leg, and I could just feel that it broke. And I was like, fuck, I broke it. I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to a podiatrist and get this taken care of. I'm already all splinted up. It's already what do you call it, immobilized. So it's basically a cast. So I called a podiatrist that was close by. I think he got me in that day, and I found out why. It's because he was a piece of shit doctor. He's like a terrible, terrible doctor. I couldn't remember his name. I looked him up before shooting. His reviews are like, it's so him. He's just a piece of shit. I remember he didn't even take off the splint. He just was talking to me. He was like, whoa, what happened? I was like, yeah, I went down some stairs. I feel like it might be broken. And he was like, well, why do you think that? I'm like, can you fucking look at it, doc? And yeah, he didn't do anything. He just kind of like talked to me, and then was talking about like his assistant or something. It was fucking weird. Like he was talking about her like eating habits. I got home and I told my mom, and she was like, you saw that guy? Oh, he got he got sued by one of his medical assistants because he asked if he was gay, and then he found out he was gay, and then he was like talking to other coworkers about it, like, hey, I think Michael's gay. And it was like, what the fuck? What are you doing, dude? He was like a Vietnam, like, old school doctor. So I think he grew up in a different time. I think that all of his medical advice was just kind of rooted in, like, you shouldn't be vegan and why don't you exercise more type shit. And not so much as like, hey, let's x-ray your foot. Anyway, I went to a different doctor later that week, and he x-rayed my foot, and he was like, yeah, you have a broken, it was like the lower posterior tibia something, I don't know. He's like, yeah, we need to put you in a cast like now. So they put me in a cast, and I had to go through 3 different casts because I was losing so much muscle in my leg. It was getting really loose because I wasn't running every day, but I was also gaining weight elsewhere. So I gained like 30 pounds in like 2 months, but again, was losing muscle in my leg. So that sucked. I had the casts on for whatever, 30, 40 days. And the problem that I had was that I had a sprain that I couldn't treat. I couldn't ice the sprain because I had the cast. So after I got the cast off, I basically had this untreated sprain for 40 days. So when I had the cast off, the doctor was manipulating my foot, and it was just I was like, oh, I'm not running again, I'm done, I am done. It was just flopping, and he's like, yeah, your tendons we're gonna have to do physical therapy, which is what I needed to do anyway. So did physical therapy for 6 months. I had to wear the boot. I wasn't thinking about running, but I felt like I needed to do this. This was something that I needed to do. I wasn't, as sad as I was when I started the streak, after my dad died. I was like, I could not do this anymore, and that'd be cool. But I was also like, man, you got close. Try again. So when I got the okay to start jogging again, I started jogging in like late 2016, so later that year. And then in March of 2017, I was like, all right, let's do this again. Let's round 2. So I started doing a mile every day, very slowly, very carefully, no more 5Ks and trying to, outdo myself. I kept that up. I kept it up until August of 2018, when I had to go to the ER for possible TIA, which is a mini stroke. I thought I had a mini stroke at work, so they had to keep me at the hospital for, I think, 1 or 2 nights. Streak number 2 was over. So I think that was 500 days, like, on the dot. I was like, all right, yeah, fuck this. I'm all done. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And so I stopped. I don't think I ran for like a month and a half. And then my dad's 70th birthday was coming up, which was November 3rd, would have been 2018. I was like, you know what? That'll pick that day and do this again. And if you fail, then that was it. You tried. You really did try. You're not giving up, but you're getting a little too old to be putting your body through this, and it's too much for you. So try and see what happens. So November 3rd, I laced up and I went out, and haven't missed a day since. So that's where we're at. I think today is day 1659. Let me pull up the little spreadsheet here. But yeah, I officially beat his record of what he got to. I think I have like 400 some days left to get to the 2,131. And at this point, it's like it's like a stubborn thing for me, where I'm like, it's work, dude. Like it's work. I enjoy running still, but at this point I'm like, I want to beat this. I want to beat this record, and I want to like never run again. No, I'll probably still run again. I don't know if I'll even continue this thing. I might keep going, cuz I think it would just be too weird for me to stop at this point. Especially once I hit the goal, it's like, all right, well, that's it. All done. And I think about like what he would have done I feel like he would have kept going. He probably would have just kept. He would have done it until he, he couldn't have anymore if he broke his ankle. All right, 1,659 days. I have 472 left. End date, if I keep this up, would be September 2nd, 2024. And what am I? I'm 77.8% done. I put how far I've run going coast to coast from California to New York, and then the percentage of the equator that I've run. So I've run coast to coast 2.96 times. So I went bap, bap, bap. And then the equator I've run 41%. So that would be, I think the equator is like 25,000 miles, and I've run a little over 10,000. So yeah, the reason that I don't really talk about this is I feel like it's old, because it's like, oh, Sam, you're doing the streak again, huh? It's been 11 years, still doing it, huh? And it's not like, it's not really interesting anymore, because it's like, yeah, I'm fucking running, and I'm not doing I'm not doing the 5Ks, I'm not doing half marathons anymore. I don't think my body can handle that anymore, and also they're a lot more expensive than they used to be. Yeah, and I don't have any fucking room for all my medals, dude. Like, I have so many medals. I have there's 85 of them, and they're sitting in a bin because they're a bitch to hang up since I moved. Yeah, man, I got too much bling. And also the shirts, they give you like tech shirts. So it's like I made a little blanket out of them, but it's just too much. It's too much shit that they give you, and I'm trying not to clutter anymore. Again, I can't run like that, and I was very competitive when I would run. I mean, if I didn't break 20 minutes for a 5K, I would be really disappointed in myself, and I couldn't do that now. That would be impossible. That's keeping like a 6 minute 8 second pace for 3 miles, and that is laughable to me now. No. So yeah, I don't really talk about it that much because, like I said, it's old. I don't want to jinx it as well, because I don't know, if I talk about it, something bad's gonna happen. It's also it's a slow moving thing. There's not any more. Sorry about the chair, by the way, if you can hear that. My back is hurting. It's slow moving. There's not any milestones left. I would get to 100 days, 500 days, 1,000. But I think the next milestone would be 2,000. And then from there, it's 131 days left, and then I'm done. So yeah, that's the old running streak journey. Yeah, it just it's taken me a long time, and I didn't plan for it to. I think that when I initially did it in 2012, I was like, yeah, I'll be done by the time I'm 31 years old, and now I'm 37. So bummer. No, but it's fun. It's been fun. It's been a fucking journey, dude. And I don't know if I could I think maybe I could write a book about it. A lot of the things that I've encountered were at races, and I've had a lot of really cool races that I did, and I ran naked for one of them. That's cool. It was a 5K in up in the mountains at a nudist resort, so that was fun. And I ran at Knott's Berry Farm, Disneyland. I ran around Angel Stadium. You run around the bases. It was really cool. Universal Studios, again, doing the tram thing. I ran one at a water park where you run half of it, on the grass and stuff, and then you jump into the lazy river, and you kind of have to tread through that. And yeah, a lot of fun races that I had. New Year's Eve, ringing in the New Year in Los Angeles, and running on the street at night. And yeah, I miss it. I miss all that stuff, but it's over now. Can't do it. No, I would. I think I would. I just need to not be so competitive about it, which, it would be hard because I think the last like 5K I did was 2019. I wasn't trying to beat my old times, but I remember like just when we were about to start, I was like, you could do this. You could sprint this, dude. You can do it. But my body won't let me do that anymore, so I gotta lug around this one. But so yeah, that's the whole story. I know I rambled a bit. I try not to do that, but I had some key points here that I wanted to touch on, and hopefully I get there. I'm at the home stretch now, and I really hope I get there. Anyway, I hope this was inspiring a little bit. It's kind of cool, right? Like running every fucking day for 5 years or whatever. I used to have a lot of people that would reach out, and I remember this one woman, she told me she started walking every day, which was really cool. People that heard that I was doing this and like, oh, I started doing this every day, or I picked up this habit. That was really special. So, it was for me, but if anybody listens to this and is like, you know what, I think I'm gonna try to do something cool, fucking do it. Just make it a habit. It's like I said, this is just routine for me now. It's like it's brushing my teeth. Sometimes I don't even remember that I do it until I double check my Nike app. I'm like, wait, did I run today? I'm like, oh yeah, you ran like 3.5 miles. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's nice. And other times I still dilly-dally where I'm like, I don't want to run today. I'll wait until 11:30 at night and, go run on the treadmill or something. I'm doing this out of habit and stubbornness at this point, because I've had days where I was like, you just stop, dude. Just stop. You made your point. If there's an afterlife, you get to see Dad again. You could tell him you got close. You don't have to do the beat the streak. I think he'd be proud of me for doing this anyway. It's been 11 years. It's a long enough fucking project to be doing, and I like to think that it's made me healthier, and I don't smoke anymore, so that's good. Bryant, by the way, if you're still watching, stop smoking cigarettes. That's how you can make it up to me. Stop fucking smoking cigarettes. Quit smoking cigarettes. I'm trying to stop doing it. Okay? And you know what? Don't forget that I let you borrow a pair of running shoes back in like 2013? You're like, oh, I think I'm going to start running. And I was so proud of you. And we have the same shoe size. And you're like, oh, can I borrow a pair of running shoes? I let you borrow that pair, and you still have them, I think. I never got them back. So fucking run. And if you don't, quit smoking. Bitch. So that'll do it for us. This was, I guess, I know last week I was like, oh yeah, 25th episode is going to be really fun. This was just kind of a poor attempt at like a motivational speech. I don't know what happened. I just wanted to talk about the running thing because I don't really talk about that much. So maybe the next time I do will be when I beat the 2,131 days. So that'll be fun. Yeah. So that'll do it for us. Stu, did you have anything that you wanted to add? Where did I put my car keys at the naked race? Stu, I don't think you want to know the answer to that. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, if you live near a like a hiking trail or a nature center or just anywhere like the beach, anywhere just out in where the nature is beautiful, go utilize that. Go have fun. Be safe. Don't drink before you do it, and don't do anything out of your league. You know, don't go up a too steep of a trail. And if you do, don't try to run down it. And if you decide, you know what, I'm gonna sit that out. I'm gonna go to the grocery store instead. You know, you need to pick up a few items. You go do that. You use a shopping cart. You know what I'm gonna say. Shopping cart return. Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you to the patrons, not the Patreons, the patrons. Means a lot to us having your support, and we'll see you next week.